Welcome to the 222 Experience, where God reigns supreme, Jesus is King, and the Holy Spirit is my everything. I'm Tiffany, the COO of the 222 Experience, and I'm accompanied by God, the CEO of the 222 Experience. And you already know what I'm about to say. I got another vlog for you today. I promise you I don't try to rhyme, but it just come out like that. I have like joy and music on the inside of me. So it just, when I talk, it rhyme, honey. I can't help it. But anyway, yes, I got another blog, and today's blog is 5 things that you should do after you get saved. And I feel like I'm going to speak from my own experience. But my experience is very different from the average person that got saved at church because I didn't get saved at church. So I feel like when you get saved, people be like, all right, you're saved. Woohoo! Here's the Bible. Now you got to just pray and read your Bible, and then that's it. But that's really not it. There are really, in my experience, 5 things that I did that helped me elevate fast, very quickly. It was five critical things that I feel like you should know. So in this blog, in this video, which I have a blog on it, of course, we're going to discuss those things. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing is seeking God, like just what I just said, seeking God. But I want to give you a different perspective on seeking God. I want you to put your mind in, get it into a relationship with God. So anything that you would do with your mate, your partner, your spouse, this is what you're going to do with God. You're going to be intimate with God. You're going to laugh with God. You're going to talk with God. I want you to treat him like you are in a relationship. So you just got saved. You just gave your life to him. So you're new to the family, right? So you're going to get to know him. How do you get to know him? By reading his word. You read at first when you're reading the Bible, is the these and the thou and the thous and get a Bible that you can understand. Get a Bible that you can understand until you're ready for King James. Okay? Or if you can understand King James, or you can have King James and another version open at the same time. Or if you want to do it like I did, I had King James and I just researched what everything meant as I was reading. If I didn't understand it, I stopped. I researched it. I looked it up. I looked up the definition to the words, and then I reread it, and then I kept going. And sometimes you have to go and look at the history of what you're reading. That is really important, to look up the history of what you're reading so you can know what the mindset of the people were back then. And you can know, well, God is never changing, but you can know how he communicated to them in the way that they needed communication because of their culture at the time. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. If you ever like, God, talk to me, all you got to do is get the app on your phone, put the Bible app on your phone, and play the Bible. He talking to you. That's it. His word is him. Him is his word. Okay, they're one and the same. Okay, so first get a Bible plan. Even if you have to start out slow, even if you like read a story in the Bible, you read about Adam and Eve in the Bible, stop there and then go back and study the Bible. Go back and study what you read. Go back and, like I said, look up the definitions. Go back and look up the history, the culture at the time. Of course, Adam and Eve was the first culture. Okay, so you just read to understand, and then after a while, you ask God, can you give me revelation on what I'm reading? Because the Bible is a living book, and every time you read it, you can get something different out of it. So ask God when you pray, and when you read, when you read, ask him to come in and explain what's going on. So that's the first thing you want to do. Seek God. And you also want to start a little prayer regimen. Start with something that's really simple, something that you can be consistent with. Even if it's 10 minutes, even if you do it 3 times a day and it's 10 minutes per time. And then you can build on that. And then you can do it 12 minutes the next week. As long as you're staying consistent. If you're not being consistent with 10 minutes, you need to stay right there and try to get consistent with 10 minutes per prayer time. Okay. Or even 5 minutes, or just checking in with him throughout the day. Lord, I kind of don't know what to pray about, because if you're a baby Christian, you might not know the things, So you might say, I just want to thank you for the things that you've done. Show gratitude, ask him to come in and show you things, open your eyes, open your spiritual eyes, open your natural eyes to things that needs to be, seen. Okay. So that's how you're going to build your relationship with Jesus, and you're going to build your relationship slowly. Let's do it slowly. When I was doing this, I shot up. I kind of like elevated kind of quickly, but it was because I was being consistent. So I just want you to know that everything that I'm saying is you have to be consistent. Consistency is the key in everything that you do in life. Okay? So being consistent with reading my Bible and being consistent with my prayers, it had me to elevate. So start small and then build. Okay? So the next thing that you should be working on is you should be writing a list of everybody you've wronged, and then everybody who wronged you. And then the first thing you're gonna do is write that list of everybody who you've wronged, and you're gonna reach out. If the person is still alive, you're gonna reach out, and then you're gonna try to right that wrong. Yeah. You got to do that. You have to do that because you need to get, even if the person don't receive you, try anyway. Try to right the wrongs, okay? And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the list of people who've wronged you. And you're going to take that list of Jesus. You're going to take that list of prayer. You're going to start praying for them. You're going to process forgiveness. I have a video that's out right now. I just put it out. And you should go look at that on how to process unforgiveness, okay? If these people are alive and you think that you can have a conversation with them, try to, so you can get it right. Maybe they didn't know they offended you, maybe they know they offended you, but they don't know how to communicate. Maybe you could break the ice by going and saying, hey, X, Y, and Z happened. I didn't like how that went down. Can we talk about that? And forgive. It's your meal ticket. It's your meal ticket to heaven. Forgive. And it's not a one-step process. You have to choose to forgive, and you have to continue to work at it. Okay? Yes. And let me say this. Unforgiveness is like an open door. When you hold unforgiveness, it makes you bitter and it makes you resentful, and with unforgiveness comes this, like, the spirit of anger, and you want to get rid of that. You don't want to be the person that's walking around angry all the time. Like, nobody wants to be around that type of person. And you could be carrying that anger and you don't even know why you're angry. You don't know why you snap at the drop of a dime. It's because you're holding unforgiveness, because you're holding all of the offenses that everybody else did to you on the inside of you. So let's work on getting rid of that. And think about this. With that being said, you're holding those things on the inside of you for what somebody else did. Imagine what somebody else is holding on the inside of them for what you did to them. So that's the reason why I said go and make your wrongs right, and then go and forgive the people who wronged you. Okay? So that is the second tactic, the second hack that you should do right after you get saved. You got to clean the slate. Clean that slate, honey. Okay? And so the third thing that you should do is break evil covenants. If somebody would have told me this, that I'm going to come out with a step-by-step guide from milk to meat. I'm going to come out with a step-by-step guide from milk to meat. So it's not a lot of, okay, I'm about to say something and I don't want to offend nobody, but it is going to offend people. especially if you're listening to this and you feel like this is you. You know how you know how people would sit in church for 20 to 30 to 40 years and they've never cast out a demon. They can't pray their way out of a bag. They can't like put their hands on somebody and heal the sick. Like they can't pray for somebody and the person and you actually see results. It's because they're still on the milk. They haven't gone to the meat yet. It does what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter how long you sit in church. You can still be on the bottle. You could be on the bottle for 25 years. You could be on the bottle for 30 years. And there's no reason why you should be on the bottle that long. Like elevate, elevate, elevate. And I said that to say these like when I say you have to break evil covenants, there's some people who get saved and they don't know to break the evil covenant that they have made in their past life. Like they don't know that the almonds that they were doing, like sprinkling salt around their kitchen, or tying a red string around their arm, or taking what they call it, not pneumonia, not ammonia, and spraying it around their house. They don't know that that's an omen and that's not Christ-like. It's they don't know what kind of covenants they've come into. So and then so that they don't know to break them. You can't pledge to Apollo, the Greek god Apollo, and then pledge to God. And God clearly said, "I won't have no other god before me," and then think you okay. You have to break all of the evil covenants. Okay? If you done any witchcraft, if you had witchcraft done to somebody, if you're in the new age, if you love to manifest things without the Holy Spirit, you need to break those covenants. You need to break those covenants. If you like reading your horoscope, if you play the Ouija board, if you like to go to get your palm read, you got to break that. You have to go and renounce, divorce those evil spirits, the covenants that you made. Because when you make an evil covenant, a demon is attached to those covenants. And they, monitoring spirits and familiar spirits, they're following you now. They're in your life because you agreed to it. It's all about legal rights and open doors. So in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, but he gave man dominion, which means he gave man dominion over the earth, which means an evil spirit needs man's permission in order to operate in their life. Now, your mom could have gave that evil spirit. Your dad could have gave that evil spirit permission to operate in your life without knowing. So when you break an evil covenant, you break it on your mom's side, you break it on your dad's side, you break it back generations all the way back to Adam and Eve, so you could be free. And you may have to, 9 times out of 10, you may have to go on a fast. But see, this is when you're going to dig deep into your family history. This is where you're going to dig deep and you're going to go deeper with God to get all of this stuff up and out. Okay? So you're going to go and ask God, hey, God, I want to go on the fast so you can reveal the things that I need to get rid of. I want to get rid of these gods, because you might not even know you got a God. You might be doing something because it's your way of life, and before you met Jesus Christ, you may not know. But that's why it's best to do number one and seek God and have a relationship with him and to read the Bible so you can say, okay, I've been doing these things and it's not pleasing to God, and this is like an idol in my life, and now I'm in idolatry. I need to break this covenant. Like, I need to break this evil covenant so I can get closer to God. Because if you don't break the evil covenant with the other God that you have, your relationship with God will never get close. He'll guide you. He'll look out for you. He'll have grace and mercy on you, but it'll be from a distance. You want to be close to God. You want to be in his lap. You want to be in his bosom. You don't want to be at a distance. You don't want that. You want to be intimate with God. When you're intimate with God, he's sharing secrets with you. He's talking to you for hours and hours and hours. So that's where you want to be, So just go ahead and start seeking God. Maybe go on a little small fast for a week and then ask him, show me the things that I need to take care of. Show me the things that I need to get out of the way so I can be closer with you. Okay? So yes, break those evil covenants. And everything that I'm reading, of course, it is on the blog, the 222 Experience. I am going to have the website here. So you can go there, or you can click on the description below, and I'll have this exact blog that I'm reading from in the description below. Okay. So the fourth thing that you need to do is seek deliverance. That should be the fourth. Listen, that should be really, because sometimes, and the reason why I say get a relationship with God, forgive, that's kind of like clearing out some things. Okay, when you and it's prepping you for deliverance. When you go on a fast and you ask God, what's what's in my family bloodline, what's in me that I need to get out. You can take everything that you have that God gave you. Okay, you have adultery, you have divorce in your family, you have a spirit of divorce, or you have incest in your family, or you have homosexuality, it runs in your bloodline because your great grandfather did X, Y, and Z at a party, and it merged with this evil spirit, and they made covenants, and he didn't know when he was chanting and doing all of this other stuff, he was giving away his second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh generation, and you was the fifth generation, and now you stuck and you don't know why you like the same sex. You know what I'm saying? So God can reveal that through prayer and fasting, which is why I say seek him first, then forgive, so you can get the spirit of unforgiveness out, and then you can go in and go and get your deliverance. Okay? Yeah. So seeking for deliverance. Now, nowadays there are a lot of deliverance ministers. Okay? But once upon a time, it wasn't a lot of people casting out evil spirits. So, and if you don't know anybody who will help you go through the process of getting deliverance, there is a such thing as self-deliverance. I've been through self-deliverance before, but I also recommend you being with a pastor and or a deliverance minister and getting the deliverance that you need, because God can talk to, like, let's say there's a prophet there and that prophet does deliverance. That God and that prophet is locked in with God, and that prophet could be getting information that you have not received yet. But when the prophet tells you, it bear witness to your spirit, and a lot of times, sometimes God will go ahead and tell you what's going on with you, and the prophet can confirm. So, and that'll give you peace. So I do suggest, as a baby Christian, that you be with a pastor, or you have a deliverance minister to help you go through, and then, because sometimes you need somebody there with you. Sometimes you do need somebody there with you to take you through deliverance. Okay, so the last thing you got to do, the fifth thing, is learn spiritual warfare. You absolutely have to learn spiritual warfare, because as soon as you step out the battle, okay, so it's a line. It's Satan's side and then it's God's side, right? We'd rather be on God's side. But since you just got saved, you did the right thing, right? So you crossed over the line, and now Satan is mad, because if you're on God's side, that means you're against him. If you're on Satan's side, that means you're against God. So now that you're on God's side, you're automatically a threat to Satan. So He's going to fight you tooth and nail. So you need to armor up. You need to learn spiritual warfare. You need to learn how to fight. Okay. Look at it as a battle. Look at it as like war. Okay. When you pray, that is the battle. Prayer is the war. Prayer is the battle. Okay. The only way that you can win is if you have weapons of warfare. And that is going to be the word of God. So that means you need to learn. You need to like when you're a baby Christian, you have to have the manual in your hand to learn all the rules, and it comes in the form of stories, but there are revelations in the, and I'm not talking about the chapter, but there are deep revelations inside each story that you need to pick up and grab and take with you. And if they can do it, you can do it. God gave us authority to trample over serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by enemies hurt you. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. Okay? When the enemy rise up against you, they will be defeated before your face. They will come up against you one way and flee seven ways. Okay? So you got to learn these scriptures. You got to learn all of these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have these scriptures in the back of your mind, because in the front, okay, you need to have them in the front and in the back of your mind. So when Satan try to get in the middle, you can double team them with scriptures. Okay? And you can automatically fire off scriptures just like that. You need it. You cannot go to a pew fight with a butter knife. You can't do that. Can't do it. They're gonna tear you up out there. Okay? So the fact of the matter is that you just crossed over to God's kingdom. You are now a threat, because Satan thinks that you're going to tear down his kingdom, and you are. That's why I came over here. You absolutely are about to tear some stuff down. Why? Because when you get saved, you're gonna experience the goodness of God, and you're gonna start telling people about how good God is, and then they're gonna want it, and then you're taking people from his side over to the other line, across the line. We're going over to God's kingdom. He doesn't not like that. His goal is to win as many souls as he can to take back to his house with him. So when you get saved and you learn spiritual warfare, use it to your advantage, okay? And when you do learn spiritual warfare, you go hard on the enemy. Go hard. If they slap you, you got to take your weapon and chop him in half. Okay? Don't do a slap for a slap. If he do something to you, you got to send a message back. I ain't to be played with. I'm not to be played with. Okay? Okay? So yes, learn spiritual warfare quickly. Very quickly. I'm going to shout out a pastor that taught me spiritual warfare, and he is really good. He is really good at spiritual warfare. His name is Whitfield Harrington. Whitfield Harrington. He is really good with spiritual warfare, and he taught me a lot. A lot of books that I've read. I've read Dr. Daniel Olakoya. His books are really good with spiritual warfare. Really, really good. So that's really important, because as soon as you step out of Satan's kingdom, it's wartime. It's fight time. It's go time. It's go time. And I just feel like I just don't hear a lot of people giving the guide or giving the step-by-step instructions on what you should do after you give your life to God. I am going to come out with a step-by-step guide. I'm going to come out with a step-by-step book on what to do as soon as you get saved. Even if you've been saved, or even if you've been like a Christian for a while, but you may not be seeing progress, or you may not be seeing, the healing, the miracle signs and wonders. I got you. I'm gonna come out with a step-by-step guide just for you. Okay. So that is the end of the vlog. You already know what I'm about to say. Like it. Comment on it. Subscribe to it, honey. I love saying it. Yes, if you liked it, like it, comment, and subscribe, and share it. Share it if you want to. But I really do appreciate you stopping by, and I'll be back. I'll be back next week. Okay? Come see me. Bye.